In the words of Kobus Groenewald, the tribute rally was organised to celebrate the life of a young man who loved our sport as much as we all do. And so, organised by the Arrow and NMCC Club, the Zane Rencken tribute rally took place on the 27th of October 2018. With all the vehicles parked up in the holding area, Dean Redlinghuis, the local organiser, held the driver's briefing and all the formalities were discussed and finalised.
Jumps are not a joke. We have said triple caution. It is. Normally a jump dip. So if you take it hard, you end up in the bank of the dip and your radiator comes through the bonnet.
At 9:30 on the proverbial dot, the first car left the holding area. The Zane Rencken Tribute Rally 2018, Arrow lined up in orange and MMCC in bright green. Each contestant was waved off by Mrs. Rencken. This stage would see the start of an easy victory for the pairing of Clyde Challoner and Graham Bishop in their VW Polo. Let me warn you now, here's a spoiler. Class Stage 1 and all its times would show that overall victory would go down to the very last stage, with only 4 seconds separating the first 3 cars. So here we see Clyde Challoner again. Just to note that he's the PE champion. He is originally from KZN, but he's driving with Graham Bishop, that's Graham with a Y, hoping to do exactly the same in KZN and become the champions. The pairing won the first stage in a time of 10:32, followed in a close second by Kobus and Charisse Groenewald at 10:47 and their overheating Toyota Rencken A7. Car 312, Bertus Labuskachny and Peter Chadwick, were sitting comfortably at 34 seconds off the leader, with a nice slow steady start for the current 2017 KZN champions. And here we cut away to some other action on the field. We see Brian and Ashley Scott in their VW Polo, one of a few in the field, representing NMCC, doing some fine work in stage 1 across the dam wall and up to the rest of the field.
Hollywood smile. So Mr. Scott, how was that for a first stage?
Well, it's roads we haven't used, so Richard, it's brand new stuff to us, really good.
Challenging?
Challenging, a little bit dusty, eh? Every time you slide into a corner, the car fills up with dust.
Great stuff. Who's your challenge? Who are you going after today?
Dean.
Dean.
Dean is our man.
Dean's in first, you're in second. Good luck with stage 2, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Awesome one.
Here we see another Arrow competitor, car 102, the Opel Corsa, the upcountry team, Eddie Simpson and Isabel Roths.
Yes. How's Natal treating you?
Yeah, man, it's going well.
Enjoying it?
Yeah.
A lot of guys are saying slippery.
Yeah.
Bit slippery out there? Bit slippery out there?
Yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah?
Those blue stones, eh? watch it, yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, there were a couple of nice swings, but those blue stones.
Yeah.
That was difficult.
Marbles, yeah.
Oh, bubbles.
Isabel, is he driving okay?
Oh, that-
Is he driving okay?
Yes, he's driving through a little bit slow, but we will get there.
He's old.
I sometimes forget about where the gear lever is.
So Dean, leader of the championship, how was the first stage?
We've got a problem. Like the car's in neutral now. If I release the clutch, it was just dying. Couldn't get third and fourth. It seems like an engine mounting something broken and something's moving on the cable shift. So when you're coming down the gears, it won't take third.
Okay.
So I've got to ease it into second, and then obviously if it's moving under the heavy accelerations, I wasn't whacking because I don't want it to break. We still got one more stage to do.
How was that?
Fun. Slippery. You get used to the surface. Very well.
And are you coping with the dust?
Good. No, there was no dust.
How are the town roads? All good?
I can't say good, but they were good.
In the off-road, Ernst and Ruan Roberts in their Can-Am Maverick would take victory in a time of 10:07. Second quickest would be Dean Bradbury and Monique van der Merwe with a time of 10:10. Closely followed by a mere second. In third position, Nico Durant and Henry Cohn with a time of 10:11. Tony Ball, a multiple regional champion, now competing in a JRE single-seater. In the social class, it would seem early on in the event that Paolo Govia and Ashley Eddy were going to have an easy day in the office in their Nissan Skyline GTR with a convincing 39 second stage win over their nearest rivals. We also see the Fiat Uno, car 326 with Brand van der Merwe and Zale van Breda, bringing up the third position in the social class. In the quad section, Daniel Bottas Jr. had a good first and second stage on his LTR Suzuki and looked on form to set up some good times for the day. However, when he got back to the pit area, he noticed the brand new motor was leaking oil from the casing and had to make the tough decision to pull out. It just wasn't worth destroying the motor. Quinton Bloom followed next into the pits on his.
Gail Mitchell, she's got an interesting tale to tell. Gail, what was it like out there today?
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Every rally should be like this.
I understand you had a bit of a problem with the dam.
Only a little problem because the arrow was facing both ways, so maybe it's the blonde seeping through, I don't know. So I went this way, that way, and then went back that way, and then found the route.
Stefan navigated for Zane Rencken. His father completed the rebuild of this classic Ford Escort the day before the rally. He did say the brakes were a bit spongy. Chris Peters and Stefan Peters getting back on the road and back in the race. Stage 2 FO clip, which was 16.3 kilometers in length. Challoner and Bishop once again took stage victory with a time of 11:31 as the overheating issues continued for Groenewald, posting a time of 11:36 in second. Third position would go to Kobus Marais and Rocco Huzak in their Toyota Taz with a time of 11:38. And here again we catch up with car 304, driven by the Peters team, still hanging on and getting through that sugarcane without getting off the road. In the off-road class, the battle continued with mere seconds splitting the top three. Bradbury van der Merwe would be victorious on their stage with a time of 10:54, closely followed in second by father and son Robert's crew with a time of 10:56. One second further behind would be Durant Cohn with a time of 10:57. Govier and Eddy made yet another clean sweep in the social class with a 36-second class win in a time of 14:11. Over their nearest rivals in second, Van der Merwe van Breda with a time of 15:25. In third spot would see the Graaf pairing finishing in a time of 15:46.
It's absolutely awesome. The heat is a bit hassled, but late yesterday afternoon we put an aircon in the car there, the angle grinder and a couple of rivets, and we got it sorted. Could keep us cool, but it's family time and it's a lovely time.
Letting some air out for the dirt.
Yeah, no, it's too hard. It's 2.5 bar. It must be 1.7 bar.
Kelly, you're giving us some entertainment there, we saw.
Fine, and you?
I'm good, man. Are you having a good time? How's the heart doing?
Just don't have second gear.
Oh, second gear missing. Oh no. Are you coping in the corners with first and third? Struggling a bit? Using the clutch.
Stages are very nice.
Yeah?
Rollerballs, lots. Trees, lots. But yeah, no, we're coping, very nice. First time with the navigator, she's doing very well.
Are you having a good time?
Yes, I just had a fright at the dam, but I'm fine.
Ek probeer nie.
That's fine.
Maar ek het die tweede rad nie, daar by die dambal toe ek derde rad toe trek hy dood, toe gaan ons so af en toe sê ek nee, wag, laat ons hom lei toe gaan. Maar ja, nee,
Stage 1 dusted, stage 2 to come.
Yep.
Enjoy.
Thanks very much.
All the crews had a much needed service break after stage 2, mending cars and broken egos before moving on to stage 3, Denzel.
Said duct tape didn't
With
come
the
in
cars
handy.
refueled,
Here we
some receiving
have a
duct
view of
tape,
Andres and
and
Lorraine
others
Kraft's
just a
vehicle.
windscreen wipe.
They're from NMCC, from Maritzburg as well.
The action continued to see Chandler and Bishop take yet another convincing stage win in a time of 10:12. Beating Labuschagne and Chadwick a further 24 seconds behind. Here we see car 304 not worrying about the spongy brakes and taking the little jump onto the dam. Third would go to Marco Ferreira and Hannes Pina in their Subaru Impreza in a time of 10:39. Unfortunately, this would also prove to be the pairing's last stage, as their Subaru suspension collapsed, forcing them to retire prematurely. And here we see a little flashback to where 213 Marco Ferreira and Hannes Pina first started getting some of their problems with their Subaru Impreza.
So now I have to push the car or something. I don't know what to do.
We can help you get going again. Okay, once you're moving, you're good to go, hey?
Yeah, I just need to get the car into gear. I'm going to go back to service park. This is...
Hey, that's pretty sad, Marco.
Yeah, what can I do?
Where did it happen? At the beginning of the stage?
Very beginning of the stage.
So you've suffered the whole way through, man?
Yeah, so, you know what? Did what I can. The car was thrown together for the event, so...
But let's get you back to service and see if we can get you back in the event.
Here's car 310, the husband and wife pairing, Brian and Ashley Scott, starting their penultimate stage. The fuel pump would eventually expire on stage 4, leaving them stranded and having to withdraw. Here's an internal shot of car 310, and you can see even though the farmers have done a good job of cutting back sugarcane, it still makes the road quite narrow. In the off-road class, Brerby and Van der Merwe took time off chasing crews. They would finish the stage 21 seconds clear of their nearest rivals with a time of 9:21. Second quickest again in the off-road was the Roberts pairing with a time of 9:42. Followed in third position with a time of 9:45 would see Ronnie Boertes and Etnie van Venter. Gouvier and Eddy would yet again extend their lead further in the social class with a 17-second victory over the pairing of the Crafts.
fun.
Was the stage good?
Hey,
Yeah.
very rough for the streetcar. But if I had shocks, it would be fun.
And
But
a little bit slippery.
No, it's got grip. It's just very rough for a streetcar.
Says the man that wins national championships.
Ah.
Local organiser of the rally, Dean Riedelhuis, and co-pilot Amar Mayiwa in 305 ran into early trouble with their new gearbox, refusing them first and second gear, which in the end would force the crew to retire later in the day.
This is hot.
One going to fourth,
Oh no.
then I had one going to third. I come here, as soon as the power's off, straight through all the gears.
Back in the pits, we caught up with car 305 and the navigator Mayiwa.
We're trying to get there. I see the adjustment a little bit way off. We're trying to get it there now. See after that how far.
Well, it seems the hard work that was done in the pits paid off as the guys were back on the road. Car 166, driven by Peter Palooza and Willem Morgan, a blue Nissan Sentra from Arrow, came all the way down from Joburg, up country and straight into the rally. No trailers, straight off the road, onto the rough road.
So usually when someone comes here and they're like, are you a navigator? Can you make so it's very excited.
And how long have you been driving for now?
It's my first year of rallying. I've started with a Mazda RX-2 and I took over with the VW 1600 and our first round I end up in first place in the championship. We shift down with a little bit technical problems, so we're on 6th overall for the championship.
Stage 4, Kurt. Tight and technical, featuring mixed surfaces of narrow cane and forest roads, leaving no room for error. A real driver's stage that would reward the brave. Full 13 kilometers of stage 4 have been graded by all the farmers. This is a great testament to the support of the Dalton farmers, of KZN rallying, and for the spectators. However, it meant huge amounts of dust if you stood in the wrong spot. that didn't seem to bother the boys from Pietermaritzburg Newton School. The return to stage 5, or Edgar 2, would claim yet another car. Brothers Christo and Philip Carstens in their BMW 130i would not see the end of the stage as the rear suspension collapsed, totally grinding them to a halt. And this is what rallying is all about. Car 111, driven by Anton Raths and Louis Mange, and their VW Golf 1, still coming through nice and strong. Chandler Bishop won the stage with a time of 10.25, 4 seconds quicker than the Groeneveld pairing with a time of 10.29. Challenor and Bishop were being hounded by the Groeneveld pairing in a now 6-sounding car. Making steady and consistent time in stage 5, Bertus Labuskakny and Peter Chadwick came through this tight corner. Riddenhuis and Miyawa had found their gears again, and their Polo had posted the third fastest stage time of 10.32. The Roberts crew were now on the move in the off-road class, determined to chase down Bradbury and Van der Merwe with a stage-winning time of 9.44. The father-son pairing took their second stage victory of the event, and that by a mere second over Bradbury Van der Merwe with a time of 9.45. Wertus Fences was a further 9 seconds behind the stage winners in a time of 9.54. Govia and Eddie took yet another impressive 43-second stage win in a time of 12:36 over the second place pairings of the Crafts.
Car 105, Kali van der Merwe and Renee Pallas, still attacking hard in their rear-wheel drive Toyota Corolla, maybe too hard as they nearly overshoot.
And on to stage 6, or FO clip take 2. This is where the strategy would start to play a role. Some teams would attack and take time, or conserve and finish the rally. Many crews had to ask themselves that very question. Once again, the calm and collected crew of Chandler and Bishop made a perfect A to B pass of the stage, posting the fastest time of 11:01. While Red and Haste and Miawa attacked the stage to make up lost time, coming in the second quickest with a time of 11:21. In a steady third were Labuskachny and Chadwick with a time of 11:27. The Roberts pairing were now in full attack mode, taking 8 seconds off the off-road class leaders with a time of 10:40. The off-road class leaders, Bradby and Van der Merwe, finished second quickest in a time of 10:48. Finished third in a time of 11:06. In the social class, it would seem that the current leaders of the class, Gouvet and Eddy, were to be attacking the stages now with a convincing win of 1:34 and a stage time of 13:35 over the second place Craft crew, who posted a 15:09. Van der Merwe and Van Breda in third ended the stage with a time of 15:37.
We actually just went too fast and we rolled the car. It was close to the end of stage 6, probably about 12 kilometers into the stage. What happened was he came up a hill and there was tires in the road. So I swerved out and then just lost the car, and then eventually we just rolled it. But we all are good, and luckily the local farmers were kind enough to assist us and help us to put the car back on the wheels. But the car seems to be fine, so we're going to carry on with stage 7 and 8 and see what it's like. But yeah, we'll see, but otherwise it's all good now.
Tribute rally here in a beautiful Dalton. It's a glorious day here in the KZN Midlands, and we are now joined by Kerry Donkin, the manager of Reach for a Dream in KZN. She's going to tell us a little bit more about how her organization has gotten involved in this rally.
Yes, thank you for having us. We were approached by Dean, who's put together the rally, and for us he wanted to give back to the community, and so he approached Reach for a Dream and wanted the proceeds from today's rally to go towards the children that we help, and then also wanted us to be able to bring out some boys so they could see what it is to participate in a rally race and just test their fear limits.
To support the Reach for the Dream project, Alan Hooper and Wayne Westwood took the kids on a ride for a 2-kilometre rally stage opposite the service park. Each child received a winner's medal and a gift after their rally experience.
One little guy who's in the car right now, Andile. Tell us, young man, how do you feel? Are you nervous, excited?
I'm excited, but I'm feeling calm. I'm not feeling.
how was it?
Very cool and pumping.
Were you afraid?
No, I was not afraid.
You think you could do rally car racing someday?
Yeah, I think they can do it.
Hey?
Yeah.
Well done, son.
Okay.
Car 305 with terminal drive shaft failure, the VW Polo of Riddenhuis and Miawa had cried enough and forced them out of the event.
Johan van Wyk and Sarah Coetzee in their VW Golf 1 also suffered terminal suspension damage when their rear axle broke, sending them into a flying retirement. The Groeneveld pairing also lost 15 minutes when they overshot a corner and went down an embankment through the magnetic sugarcane, killing all hopes of a podium finish. Challoner and Bishop by this stage were almost sure of an overall win as long as they kept it on the road.
Car ZA1, Murray and Huzak keep up the pace, chasing a podium finish.
Here we see car 252 with Johan de Bruin and Erica de Bruin and their Nissan 350Z getting over the dam wall. The hard-charging Roberts pairing took yet another stage win in the off-road class, this time by 10 seconds in a time of 9:11. Bradby and Van der Merwe finished in second with a time of 9:21, followed in third by Bots Venter, and this after they rolled on the previous stage, finishing a time of 9:40. Gouvier and Eddy took a more cautious approach this time around and still won the social class with a time of 12:45, 18 seconds ahead of the Craft pairing with a stage time of 13:03.
the sugarcane freshly cut, there were great sightlines, a feature of this event which meant that hundreds of spectators would flock to the rally. Here we see a group of locals using their knowledge of the area to find a great vantage point.
Stage 8, eventual quad class winner Hugo Timmerman races for enjoyment and always puts on a show for the spectators.
Hugo, where are you from?
From Tuba.
And how long have you been racing?
About 12 years.
Have you been out on the course this morning or are you racing blind?
Racing blind, no navigator.
Okay, then that brings me to a very important question. Does one have to be a bit mental in order to do this?
Probably a little bit, but it's all about fun. Getting to the finish.
There's no cage?
Natural aircon.
And tell me, you're racing for NCC. Who is your biggest rival, you'd say today?
Daniel Buertes, unfortunately, looks like he broke an axle.
Oh, so it's going to be clear sailing for you?
No, there's still Daniel Buertes Jr. as well.
Okay, so the next stage, what are you looking and hoping to achieve there? Improving on times and getting a nip on your competitor?
Hopefully track's not too loose. Get to stop this beast and then get to the finish in one piece. That's all.
Okay, cheers, all the best.
Hugo Timmerman, attacking with style, eager to put on a show for the spectators. Let's take a moment to watch man and machine at work.
With only one stage remaining, the crews had to battle the last 12.8 kilometers, namely Kurt, before parking their cars in Park Ferme. This stage had claimed 4 cars in the previous run, and with all being wary about this, most decided to take it easy.
Moran Huzak went on to take their first stage win of the rally in a time of 10:37, a full 34 seconds ahead of overall rally leaders Challoner and Bishop, and secured a third overall finish for the rally. Here we see some of the kids from Newton School with their headmaster, Mr. Msomi, enjoying the day. Challoner and Bishop would finish second quickest at the time of 11:11 and clinch a well-deserved overall win of the rally after dominating the entire event. Third place on the stage and second overall would go to Labuskachny Chadwick. The off-road class was a nail-biter between the crews of Bradbury van Merwe and the Roberts pairing, swapping stage wins the entire event. The Roberts pairing won their fourth consecutive stage in a row, but the charge came too late for them. They won the final stage in a time of 10:47 and took a further 49 seconds off the class leaders, and overall winners of the off-road class Bradbury van Merwe, who finished the final stage fourth quickest in a time of 11:36. The social class would see Gouvier and Eddy take their 8th stage victory as well as overall honours, with the class with a winning stage of 13:38. Second place for stage and second overall went to the Craft pairing with stage time of 13:47. Third in stage and third overall with the time of 16:06 went to van der Merwe van Breda.
Successful day. I tried to race, obviously what didn't go too well there, but it really was very special for us, and it's just what my son would have liked. It's what he actually lived for, and basically we've been able to realize his dream, which is what the day was about.
It was an amazing day today. Zane's looking up from the heavens down here, and I think he would have enjoyed his day to ride his car. And it was very tough, but we were very brave, and it was just an outstanding day. Thank you.
Sure. So I think with today, it's a beautiful tribute. He was an amazing, amazing racer, and having everyone here to share in that joy and share in that fun together, it's been amazing.
You know, I can just say that, you know, I'm very humbled that when Dean actually phoned me to arrange this race, I was a bit taken back. I was in a dark moment at that time, and I realized, well, we must do it, and I must do what he really loved doing. And it's also for us, it's just an honor that we've been able to do this. And I think the venue was outstanding. The landowners were all happy by the sounds of it, and the racers are all happy. And it's actually very exciting, and it looks like it's not going to stop here.
Dean Bradbury and Monique van der Merwe.
Yeah.
Alright, social class, final class. Winners there, Paula Gouvier, Ashley Eddy.